whoever Democrats nominate to be president in 2028, if there's an election in 2028, should really take Trump-like swings. And welcome back. You're listening to Hysteria, the podcast that wants to know what happens to the cross necklaces that Caroline Leavitt stops wearing. Does she burn them?
What do you think? That'd be something, wouldn't it?
Yeah, Caroline Leavitt, the press secretary, after South Park made fun of her, not saying that these two things were related, but after South Park made fun of her, she stopped wearing her giant early 90s hip-hop artist cross necklace. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I wonder what happened. R.I.P. to that cross necklace.
Yeah, I bet it makes a comeback.
I'm sure it'll make a comeback, and it'll be like bejeweled. And the T actually in a cross necklace for modern MAGA movement stands for Trump. It's actually not a Jesus symbol at all.
Boy.
Yeah, she's gonna come back with like a giant like Flava Flav clock-sized cross, because like as she said this week, she and Donald Trump are trying to get to heaven.
Aren't we all?
All right, speaking of the Trump family.
Here's a hot one. Melania's back in the news. Melania decided to get back in the news for a minute. Trump hand-delivered to Putin a handwritten letter from Melania during their meeting at military base in Alaska. At first, the letter was private, but Trump went to post a photo of it on Truth Social. The gist of the letter was to implore Putin to think of the children without directly referring to the problems the children are facing or even explicitly mentioning Ukraine. Erin, here are some things Melania failed to mention in her letter. She didn't mention that 716 children have been killed, 2,000 have been injured, 730,000 children have been forced to flee to safer areas within the country, 1.7 million have become refugees. According to the Yale Humanitarian Lab research, it estimates 19,000 children have been deported from Ukraine to Russia. It's identified 314 Ukrainian children forcibly adopted into Russian families, over 8,400 children relocated to at least 57 facilities in Russia and Belarus. Russia's Presidential Commissioner for Children's Rights, Maria Luva-Belova, has been indicted by the International Criminal Court for the forced deportation of Ukraine's children. These kidnappings include indoctrination and military training and re-education. Russia has designated a cadet school for these children from Ukraine, creating a direct pipeline into federal security service. But as I said, Melania, of course, didn't include any of that information. But Trump said the letter was well received. The Kremlin has yet to make any public statement about it. And just one thing that I thought you'd appreciate, just as an FYI, according to Variety, Melania's documentary, for which she will receive $40 million in licensing fees from Amazon Studios, has been set to be released in the second half of 2025. I believe we are in the second half of 2025. Just saying.
Oh, God. Okay, so that letter was like so obviously written by ChatGPT.
100%.
I think somebody ran it through Grok and was like, hey, what's the likelihood that like a large language model, because I hate calling it AI. AI is marketing. It's not artificial intelligence. It's just guessing what word comes next. It guessed like an 85% chance that it was written by an LLM. I tried a little of it myself. I'm not a ChatGPT user because I find the information that comes out of ChatGPT is most of the time very unreliable unless you're like hyper specific and you know exactly what you're looking for. So it doesn't really like it's sort of like a slightly better than Google right now, but you have to like ask a very, very specific question. Otherwise, it'll give you a dumb answer. So I asked it to, first of all, I asked ChatGPT to write a letter to President Putin from Melania Trump, and it was like, I'm not helping you with that. Fine. I was like, write a letter to President Putin from an Eastern European socialite living in America that is about children. And they wrote something that was sort of like, as an Eastern European socialite living in America, and I was like, no. So I asked a third question. Write a letter to President Putin from an Eastern European socialite living in America that doesn't mention the fact that she's an Eastern European socialite.
Okay.
And mentions the sound of children's laughter and uses flowery language. And what it came up with sounds very similar to what Melania Trump's letter came up with. I'm going to read mine.
Okay.
And I'm not going to do the accent. So
all right.
You're
That's
welcome,
fine.
America. Dear President Putin, there is no sound more pure, more divine than a child's laughter, a melody untouched by politics, power, or pride. It is the music of innocence, the bright echo of a world still full of wonder. And yet, across lands torn by war, that laughter has fallen silent. Bombs have replaced lullabies. Sirens drown out bedtime stories. Where once there were giggles in playgrounds, now there is only the heavy silence of fear. The war has stolen from children what no nation has the right to take, their sense of safety, their joy, their voice. Now, that's only the first paragraph. I had just asked it to write 2 paragraphs. This is much more direct and than Melania's letter. Melania's letter was like, something keeps happening to these kids.
Something is going on.
Yeah, these children are receiving this poor treatment, and I'm just writing a letter letting you know that it's happening. Whereas this letter is like, hey, President Putin, from ChatGPT, you can stop this. Anyway, it's a poorly written, navel-gazing, like gauzy letter that is obviously designed as part of like her campaign to present herself as some kind of relevant public figure that is interesting and worthy of being paid attention to.
It's boring.
I mean, also the thing that stuck out to me is like identifying the plight of children in Ukraine is essential and important, and it should point more fingers at Vladimir Putin for the horrifying things that are being done to them. They're literally like stealing babies, like the Nazis did. Like the Nazis stole babies, and that's what Russia is doing. They're stealing babies, but you know. It also brings into light the fact that the Trump administration really treats the humanity of children from different parts in the world differently, depending on what part of the world they live on. Like the plight of children in Gaza, not a peep from Melania Trump. There was a part of me when I read this where I was like, she's just aping Miss Rachel. It's like Miss Rachel has been like...
Well, look at all the USAID money they took away from the entire continent of Africa.
Yeah.
That was, right. All of that, you know, fortified peanut butter that could have saved thousands of children's lives, which is meant expressly for that, they let rot in a warehouse.
Well, here's the Trump administration way of dealing with problems. You run up to someone and you punch them directly in the dick, and then Melania appears and is like, this dick punching needs to stop. And then the Trump administration issues an ice pack and is like, look at us solve this dick punching problem that we caused. It's a very good analogy. I mean, it's very frustrating to like. I think nobody in the media really fell for this, unless you're really
it was stupid.
Unless you're completely like foxholed, never gonna get out, whatever. But yeah, it was dumb. And but I don't know. Melania thinks she's doing something.
I don't really care. Do you?
I really don't care. Do you? Also, why does her signature look like Donald Trump's signature?
So weird.
It's weird. I mean, she did plagiarize part of a speech that she delivered
from Michelle Obama
at the Republican convention. So, like, the audacity of this family to copy things
knows no bounds.
Yeah, absolutely knows no bounds. So, like, whatever. Fuck Melania. Melania is such a fuck Melania. Like, seriously. Hysteria is brought to you by Nutrafol. Alyssa, something they don't tell you about
what
having kids after you have them. Your hair sort of sheds. You start to shed, and there's a really awkward growing back phase that takes a very, very long time if left to its own devices.
Do you mean like in perimenopause when you shed hair and then you grow bangs at 50 because all your baby hairs start
little
growing?
Bangs now too.
Yes, your baby bangs start growing back in when you start estrogen and Nutrafol.
I started taking Nutrafol prophylactically because I knew that this was coming.
You were smart.
I was smart. I knew it was coming, and so it wasn't nearly as bad the second time around as it was the first time around. You've probably seen a million ads for hair growth products and thought, sure, like that actually works. Nutrafol actually does work. Nutrafol is not like the rest of them.
It's coming back.
If you're dealing with hair issues like thinning or shedding but feel totally stuck on what to try next, I get it. There are so many products out there, and it's hard to know which ones are actually going to do anything. That is why I gave Nutrafol a closer look. It's not just hype. It's physician-formulated, clinically tested, and even recommended by dermatologists and at least 3 members of the Hysteria team. Me, you.
Yeah, me, you.
And somebody from behind the scenes.
Nutrafol works. It's the #1 dermatologist-recommended hair growth supplement brand, trusted by over 1.5 million people. You can feel great about what you're putting into your body since Nutrafol hair growth supplements are backed by peer-reviewed studies and NSF Content Certified, the gold standard in third-party certification for supplements. See thicker, stronger, faster-growing hair with less shedding in just 3 to 6 months with Nutrafol. For a limited time, Nutrafol's offering our listeners $10 off your first month subscription and free shipping when you go to Nutrafol.com and enter the promo code Hysteria10. Find out why Nutrafol is the best-selling hair growth supplement brand at Nutrafol.com, spelled Nutrafol.com, promo code Hysteria10. That's Nutrafol.com, promo code Hysteria10.
Hysteria is brought to you by Cantrip Drinks. Cantrip seltzers and sodas are made with real, naturally extracted D9 THC from hemp and are the perfect option to unwind at the end of the day. Bonus, unlike a lot of other THC drinks, these actually taste great and offer you multiple options, from orange soda to blackberry lavender seltzer to even diet cola. Alyssa, I love this stuff.
I love it. And you know I'm a connoisseur. I have tried them all.
You've tried them.
I love Cantrip.
You are like a sommelier. You are THC derivative sommelier.
I am, and I love these. They're delicious.
They're so good. I think one thing that I don't like about like infused sodas, like THC or CBD, like sodas infused with that, is sometimes they have a little bit of a like planty taste.
They're a little herby.
They're a little
herby.
And I feel like these are really not. Like they
delicious.
They're
and
so
I have
good.
to tell you, one of the things about perimenopause, I got the worst heartburn and I really couldn't drink wine anymore. And so these have been my 5:30 wind down, and I am forever grateful to Cantrip.
I am taking a pause on drinking for a little bit, and it's a great alternative to alcohol. It's just,
absolutely,
if you're trying to go California sober, it's like a nice way to wind down at the end of the day. It almost is like it's like spritzy, like a little cocktail.
It is spritzy, and it has exactly like what you're looking for.
Yeah, it's a great alternative to alcohol. Like I said, it's a nice mellow vibe. No hangover regrets from like booze next day. It's legal to consume nationwide and ships to most places in the U.S. Check out our options at drinkcantrip.com. That's cantrip, not catnip, which is something that I actually thought it said when I first was like reading the copy. Cantrip.com, and take 30% off your first order with code Hysteria at checkout. That's drinkcantrip.com, code Hysteria. Cantrip is only for adults age 21 and over, so please drink responsibly. Transitioning, Governor Gavin Newsom. Newsom. Okay.
He's on the move.
He's on the move. He's moving and shaking. He's doing things. Governor Gavin Newsom, my governor, my psycho.
We've all got one.
As a Californian, he's our psychopath, as we say. Governor Gavin Newsom has taken over our social timelines the past couple of weeks with loads of Trump trolling tweets, TikToks, and Reels. He also is like taking real action that isn't on social media, initiating a move by California to redistrict between censuses and in time for the 2026 congressional elections in a way that will offset the Texas gerrymandering that's happening right now. So, like, right now, we are in a Gavin Newsom is having a moment. But it's not just an empty social media strategy. Gavin is fighting fire with fire. He has been tweeting out things like in exactly the same style and language as Trump.
Is genuinely hilarious.
So the head of his press office right now is a woman named Camille Zapata, who is like a genius and like maybe my new god. She's amazing. The
understands the assignment.
What was your favorite Gavin Newsom troll tweet of Trump?
Oh, I can't even pick one. I mean, it's just I wake up and my Instagram is full of all caps letters. Oh, the one where he talked about how Dana Perino was melting down. That one was very funny.
Oh my God. That one was my favorite was the visual ones. I love when he uses like AI generated. I saw one AI generated one of him carrying a bunch of chickens or not chickens, kittens out of a burning building dressed as a firefighter, but he's got like 4 hands because it's AI generated. Like he's doing something real. Like Fox News doesn't really know how to handle it because he's doing exactly what Donald Trump does, and they're having these conversations where they're like, isn't he immature? He's acting so immature. And it's like,
wait, this was my favorite tweet. I found it. All in caps. Dana Ding Dong Perino, never heard of her until today, is melting down because of me, Gavin C. Newsom. Fox hates that I am America's most favorite governor, ratings king, saving America, while Trump can't even conquer the big stairs on Air Force One anymore. Trump has lost his step and Fox is losing it because when I type America now wins. Thank you for your attention to this matter. I hate Kid Rock.
Okay, my very favorite one was the AI generated one of dead Hulk Hogan.
That was very good.
And Kid Rock and Tucker Carlson doing a prayer over him and with the words "so nice." And there was also like a Mount Rushmore with Gavin Newsom's head on it.
Yes.
And which I think is like very fun. I mean, also like personally, I think we should blow up Mount Rushmore and like return.
I know, you've said that for years.
And return the entirety of Western South Dakota to the Native Americans. Like it is egregious what white people have done to that beautiful part of the country. Give it back to the people who are not going to turn it into a souvenir stand tourist trap. But regardless, I digress. I think one thing that I've noticed in this like Gavin moment is I've gotten some messages on social media that are like, he's not nice to homeless people, right?
Oh,
like,
gosh.
He's not. And it's like, bitch, I know.
Things can be true.
I know. Look, somebody said, if our house is on fire, we can't be mad that we're not having like filtered water through ethically sourced like green garden hose. Like, look.
There's not one perfect politician out there.
No, dance with who brought you, right?
Yeah.
And Gavin Newsom is like the one that is willing to dance. He's dancing. You know what? Fine. I'll get on the floor. Like, you know what? He's not perfect.
He's in it.
He's in it. And like right now, what we need to do is stop Republicans from doing more damage to this country than they've already done. We need to minimize the amount of damage that they've done to people. We need to get the secret police off of the streets of Washington, D.C. and L.A. And if you live in any major American city, coming to a major American city near you, we need to fucking stop this. And if Gavin Newsom is willing to stand up and like irritate the Trump team and take steps.
Let it be.
Like, we need a bomb thrower. We need someone who's willing to just like, and I really, right now, we'll fight about his position on how to handle the unhoused later. Right? And that's not what I'm here for. Like,
but for now, putting pictures of him in high school where he looks like handsome Noah Wiley next to J.D. Vance, who looks like a garbage pail kid, that's funny.
That is funny. It's funny. It's funny because that's what those people care about. Like,
yes, it's doing what they've done.
Right. And another funny moment from Newsom's social media was he said thank you, Nancy Mace, under a picture of
that was funny.
Man with frizzy hair. Mm-hmm. And Tommy Lauren lost her shit. She was like, well, the tolerant left. And Newsom responded, you sound woke. Or his social media said, you sound woke. I mean, I think the point is, like, first of all, Nancy Mace is a transphobe, and she does have frizzy bad hair. And that is something that Donald Trump would absolutely make fun of if, Donald Trump were a Democrat. So, like, we need our own Trump. We need, and by
that, someone who is very good at social media.
And somebody who is also, like, I think Donald Trump is a vain man. Like, and the MAGA ideology is a vain ideology that emphasizes a type of purchased, like, look. Mar-a-Lago face is a thing because vanity is part of the Mar-a-Lago ideology. Like, vanity.
Right.
And Gavin Newsom is hot. He is a handsome man with
since the beginning,
beautiful, gorgeous wife. Who is like we've had her on the show before. She's a filmmaker. She's brilliant. She is almost too pretty. You're like, you know what, Jennifer? That's enough. You're too pretty.
Just do your thing.
I just think the fact that the Gavin Newsom and his family look more like a TV president than Donald Trump at this point. And that to me, I feel like that must drive him crazy.
The slick of Gavin's hair is akin to Michael Douglas when he played Andrew Shepard.
Wow.
Just saying, Sorkin.
Deep.
He's got Sorkin-y hair.
He does have Sorkin-y hair, and he really brings home the fact that, like, you know, politics are Hollywood for ugly people, and Hollywood is where the, you know, whatever. California,
Listen.
Of course, we're going to bring like a really good. Here, I want to just say this though before we move on to the next thing we need to move on to. I am anti-zadifying politicians and pretending that they're all like, going to fix every problem. You know, like with Andrew Cuomo during the pandemic, people were getting like real weird about Cuomo.
The Cuomo-sexuals.
Yeah, the Cuomo-sexuals, like whatever. Like, I want to make it clear that I am in it with Gavin for as long as we need Gavin to win this stage of the fight. You know?
Yeah.
And as soon as things are not like imminently dangerous, and as soon as people are no longer being kidnapped off the street, that's when I'm like prepared to change my mind about Gavin Newsom. Like if he's not willing to like advocate for policies that are in line with my morality, then I am going to criticize him. And that doesn't make me a hypocrite. That makes me a practical person. That makes me a pragmatist.
Also, we're just allowed to criticize people. No one's rock star. This isn't Beyonce. This isn't Taylor Swift.
Right.
These are people who are elected to do jobs, and they don't always do the right thing in their job, and therefore we should talk about it.
But trolling Trump is the right thing. Redistricting California mid-cycle is the right thing.
Look, he's the first person to really do it well. Like, let's just let him have at it and let that be that for now. Hysteria is brought to you by AG1. AG1 is the drinkable multivitamin with gut health support, and now they're introducing AG1 Next Gen. 3 new flavors with all the benefits of the original AG1. Some of the new flavors include tropical, vibrant, and fruity, taste like papaya and passion fruit. Berry, subtle and sweet. Berry tastes like blueberry and strawberry. And citrus, sweet and tangy. Citrus tastes like lemon and orange. And of course, you can still get AG1 Original with the subtle sweetness of pineapple and vanilla.
1 scoop of AG1 contains your multivitamin, pre- and probiotics, superfoods, and antioxidants into one delicious daily habit. Can I just say, I have the citrus flavor. My husband is hoarding it. He has taken it. He has bogarted it. He has kidnapped it. It is in. He is.
Citrus is my favorite too.
He saw that I had brought it home. I was like, you know, new AG1, and he was like, yoink, and he absolutely loves it. He's on kind of a fitness, like self-care, wellness kick, and every morning I see him in the kitchen, you know, like bending over, like protecting it from me so I can't get it, stirring it into his little drink so he feels great for the rest of the day. And man, marriage is great, isn't it? You know, he really does like it. I've tried it before. I'm not like, he literally has like kidnapped the AG1. He will not let me fully have access to it. But because he is somebody who tends to be pretty picky about what he puts in his body and how things taste, I gotta say, his endorsement, you know, it's pretty high praise.
Tried and true. Make your daily health drink more flavorful. Give the new AG1 flavors a try today. Head to drinkag1.com/hysteria. When you subscribe, you'll get a free welcome kit worth $76 that includes 5 AG1 travel packs, a shaker, canister, and scoop. That's drinkag1.com/hysteria to get started.
Hysteria is brought to you by Go Pure. Oh my gosh, when I got it in the mail, I opened it up and I was like, what is this beautiful
I'm like, what did I order in
jewel?
the middle of the night?
No, I
And
thought that
didn't.
too, because it looks like something I would order. I read
It
the
does.
description. I was like, this sounds like something I would order. And then I realized they sponsored the show, but I was like, this is amazing, because I would have ordered this had they not sponsored the show.
We're so lucky.
Go Pure visibly firms, smooths, and rejuvenates the delicate skin on your neck and chest. You know, as I've headed into my 40s, I've been thinking a lot about that Nora Ephron book. I feel bad about my neck.
My neck?
Because
Of
I do
course.
feel bad
I think
about my neck.
I think about my neck all the time.
I feel like I'd been neglecting my neck for like years.
Not anymore.
Not anymore. Not anymore. And there's something designed specifically for the delicate skin down there. I don't necessarily want to put like tinted moisturizer on my neck.
No,
I
or
want
anything too goopy.
No, I don't want to like have a ring around the collar. I want something that is designed specifically for that skin, designed specifically to help people who just want to make sure that it's like tightened up, firm, well moisturized, well taken care of. We spend so much time caring for the skin on our face, but what about our neck? And with summer in full swing, your neck and chest are more exposed than ever. Whether you're rocking sundresses, swimsuits, or strappy tops, or if you're not, like me,
or if you're just in a T-shirt.
Your neck is out there for the world to see, and it's one of the first places to show signs of aging. Don't I know it?
That's why Go Pure Beauty created their revolutionary Tighten and Lift Neck Cream, perfect for your summer skincare routine. Powered by clinically proven active ingredients, this advanced formula is designed to visibly firm, smooth, and rejuvenate the delicate skin on your neck and chest in as little as 4 to 8 weeks. Here's the thing. The skin on your neck is thinner, more delicate, and less oily than the skin on your face, which means it needs a little extra love, especially in the sun and heat. Go Pure's firming complex targets the unique concerns of the neck while nourishing and strengthening your skin for a more lifted, youthful look. So you can feel confident showing a little more skin this summer. For a limited time, our listeners get 25% off Go Pure with code HYSTERIA at checkout. Get the summer glow you deserve with Go Pure.
With over 1 million jars sold, this beauty secret is no longer a secret. For a limited time, our listeners get 25% off Go Pure with code HYSTERIA at checkout. Just head to gopurebeauty.com, use code HYSTERIA, and you're all set. After you buy, do us a favor. When they ask where you heard about Go Pure, tell them it was from our show. You're listening to Hysteria, the anti-broligarchy podcast. And before you say, hey, Erin, there you go again with your nonsense pop portmanteaus, broligarchy is now in the dictionary. It is officially in the Cambridge Dictionary, along with tradwife, delulu, skibbity.
What does skibbity mean?
I ask somebody under 25, they'll tell you.
Okay, great.
And mouse jiggler. All of these words are now in the dictionary, so you can be the most annoying person in your next game of Scrabble. Can you imagine trying to play skibbity against, like, your grandma? She'd be like, what the fuck?
No, I'm like the most basic Scrabble player, though.
Yeah,
sometimes people are like, "Are you playing to win?" I'm like, "No, I'm just enjoying
But
being
skibbity
here."
has three. Skibbity is going to be a great Scrabble word. It's got
is good.
3 eyes in it.
It uses up a lot of the weird letters.
Yeah, I mean, you get 3 eyes. You're quite a ways toward skibbity. Okay, let's talk a little bit about some jiggery pokery, as we would say, which has probably been in the dictionary for much longer than skibbity. When it comes to Bureau of Labor Statistics data.
Oh, Erin, it's nonstop. With all the hubbub surrounding Trump replacing the head of the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics, an alarming fact about the contents of the jobs report had fallen by the wayside. A whopping 212,000 women ages 20 and up have left the workforce since January. So what's causing this mass exodus? Well, a lot. For one, in 2025, work from home flexibility has been broadly revoked, and businesses asking employees to return to the office full time has jumped by 24%. No coincidence that in January of this year, Trump mandated federal employees to return to the office 5 days a week. And with 12% of the federal workforce being comprised of Black women, they have undoubtedly been hit the hardest. So, Erin, is this a targeted attack on women in the workforce? Maybe, probably.
Absolutely. We've been saying.
Of course it is.
Return to office mandates are a direct attack on caregivers, which are almost overwhelmingly women. People caring for children, people caring for other family members, almost all women. And working from home gives people the flexibility to do things like school pickups, to do things like running people to medical appointments, to do things like, you have a set amount of work, and if you just get it done at some point during the day, then you can also, like, do your laundry. Make sure that they're, wipe down your counters, do basic tasks around the house, and return to office mandates make it so that those things are not possible anymore. The things that women would do when they were able to work at home, now they can't do those things.
I work at home.
They still need to get done.
I work at home and I am nonstop working all day, doing all the things. Another contributing factor is the federal relief funding for childcare, which had dramatically declined in 2025, has forced many childcare centers that offered lower tuition to either raise tuition or close entirely. There's that. And then lastly, Trump's mass deportations of immigrants have started to affect the industry as well. 20% of childcare providers are immigrants, and the National Women's Law Center has reported that even if immigrant childcare workers did have legal status, they're either too afraid to go to work or may have lost their own childcare and therefore have to stay home themselves.
Okay, so leaving the workforce, women hate it when I say this, especially if they're like, they have young kids and they're like, I think I'm just going to stay home. But the math is this. Here are the numbers. And obviously there are other reasons to leave the workforce or not besides just raw numbers. Your mental health, if this is what you truly want to do. But I think a lot of people go into this like, oh, well, my work doesn't pay for childcare like, you know what I mean? I barely make enough money to pay for childcare. The long-term costs of a woman, usually it's a woman who drops out of the workforce to like fill these childcare gaps, or fill these responsibility gaps. The hidden cost is so massive and long-term. Like the Center for American Progress put out a calculator called the hidden cost of a failing childcare system. And I'm just going to plug some numbers in just so that people get like a sense, okay? Like let's say you're a woman and you're 31 and you currently make, let's say, $75,000 a year, right? That's like an income where like in a super high cost of living, it would be hard for some people to justify paying for childcare. You know what I mean? Like, okay, so let's say you started working full-time at 22, you're going to take time off at 32, and you're going to be out of the labor force for 5 years for when your baby, until your baby goes to kindergarten. Okay, female, 31 years old, $75,000 current salary, you're going to take some time off, you're going to take 5 years off. Here's how much money that's going to cost you long-term. $890,473.
It's fucking crazy.
And it's on you. It's on the woman. Like this, and this is not just like, you know, it's on the household entirely, but like the woman is the one that bears the most risk for this because if her household, for whatever reason, splits up. It is so, the cost of a failing childcare system and the cost of RTO and the cost of women leaving the workforce puts so much risk and vulnerability into those women's homes and onto those women themselves. And I really think that that's part of the Trump administration agenda. They want to make it really hard to be a woman that exists in the world without hitching herself to a high-earning man.
Well, what if we gave women some money?
I feel like that might be a good idea. Why don't we give women some money? Okay, so interesting study came out this week from Oxford and UC Berkeley. Found that the best way to reduce infant mortality in Kenya was give women money. Give women money. So they found that a one-time unconditional cash transfer of $1,000 to new mothers in rural Kenya around the time of birth reduced infant mortality by 49% and under 5 mortality by 45%. The transfers were provided to 10,500 poor households. So that is a big study.
Yeah.
Across 653 randomized villages in Kenya and were equivalent to around 75% of annual household income. Okay. So that would mean in the U.S. giving people like 50 grand, right?
Right.
But the reduction like can be attributed basically first of all, stress is bad for pregnancy. Stress is bad for babies. And so alleviating monetary stress is probably something that helps. But also they found that giving women money made them more willing to seek obstetric care, improved nutrition for their families, and allowed them to rest during pregnancy and after delivery because they didn't have to go like immediately back to work and start earning money because they had a little extra money. Experts emphasize that accessing healthcare is what makes the biggest difference, but cash is what made the difference for access in many cases. So give women money and don't
give women money.
So,
and the thing is, Erin, every time they do this, studies have been done in Michigan. There's actually a universal basic income study being done in Hudson, New York. And every time they do these studies, the outcomes so outweigh the financial incentive that was given in the first place. Like, it is an outsized outcome in the quality of life and what people are able to do. And the arguments against it are so cynical. They think people are going to like get this money and go buy a fucking handbag or something. And it's like, no, people are buying food. They're able to keep their houses. They're able to get like books for school. It's so easy to see how we could make people's lives like this is a return on investment.
By just giving them money. Also, like, this is something that's always bothered me. Okay, it's unconditional, right? So you can't like, it's not like SNAP or WIC where it's like, oh, you can't buy this, you can't buy this, you can't buy this. It's unconditional, right? Like congressional salaries. We give them the money and they can spend it however they want. I feel like that's how anyway. This is unconditional, and I think that the fact that people are afraid that they're going to spend it on something frivolous is a real betrayal of like a cynicism and lack of faith in people's ability. People care about their kids. That's how they spend money. When you give them money, they spend it on their kids.
And overwhelmingly, it is disproved time after time in these trials.
I just, we were talking about Gavin Newsom and having like a bomb throwing progressive. I really think that whoever Democrats nominate to be president in 2028, if there's an election in 2028, should really take Trump-like swings and say, like, okay, whatever. I think that congressional salaries and money paid by the federal government should be subject to the same stipulations as SNAP benefits recipients and WIC recipients. Like, whatever. I don't want my congressman going out there buying soda. I want my congressman. I don't want him buying junk food. My tax money is paying for this. My congressman should not be out there buying like super processed foods. I think there should be a list of foods. I want my congressman to be healthy. And so I think that I feel like we should be like, no, everybody who receives a federal income is subject to the same. Why not?
I don't know.
I just think it makes a good point.
It's really hard to get by on my federal salary. I'm just laughing.
I'm just saying. I think I think that Medicaid recipients should get the same health care that congressmen get. Whatever congressmen
I agree with that entirely.
I think
100%.
whatever like restrictions Congress people put on aid to the poor, they should also have on the income that they make from tax. It's the same taxpayer money. It's from the same pool. Why did they get to do whatever they want?
We won't have federal employees by the time of the Trump administration anyway.
I mean, honestly, it's going to be Washington, D.C. is going to be like the Beverly Center, just like a weird, shiny, abandoned mall that you go in there and you're like, I don't like it in here. I think it's hiding an oil drilling apparatus. The vibes are off. Is it haunted?
It'll 100% be haunted.